Welcome back, everybody. So here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing here. It's totally free. Now, you guys saw that yesterday we actually took profit on a lot of the puts that we had before, and then we actually went long here on Qs, pretty much right here at 510 gap fill reversal. You can see one day, and Qs came back and filling all these gaps down here. And you can see right here at 2:52 p.m. Eastern time, that is when I called it, and it actually went up and then came back and then closed the gap during the trading session. And that is where I actually took these swings. You can see even right here, that was early morning before opening that. I'm going to sell and pick up dips on SMH, Triple Q, and Microsoft. So all these ones that I picked up, everything is green right now. And especially, like I said yesterday, guys, quality over quantity. If you're really serious about trading and you want these types of trades, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. Now, with that being said, what do we got tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is Wednesday, and we have the man himself, Jay Powell, will come out with interest rate decision, guys, and that's going to be a big one because we have a new president in the office, and he's pressuring Fed and especially Jay Powell that we need more rate cuts. So there will be lots of questions, especially when he comes out at the press conference that Trump is asking you to cut. Are you gonna cut? And he's probably gonna go by the script like the way he goes every time. So there is gonna be lots of volatility tomorrow. You're going to see in this market. And top of that, what do we got? Well, we have big earnings. Well, right now, Starbucks reporting earnings, but I'm not really looking at these earnings. Boeing did today, but it was a big miss. Losses, I think $11 billion in losses, and still the stock is green. Tomorrow, a big one to look at early morning, ASML, and then I would say there is not much here. Then after hour, right after J Powell leaves and market closes, we got Tesla, we got Meta, and that thing is on a tear. I mean, another brand new all-time high today. Huge move on Meta. Microsoft also huge move, and then we have IBM also reporting earnings, and then on Thursday we got UPS, we have Apple, Intel, Visa, and then Friday we got ExxonMobil and Chevron. So it's gonna be a big week this week. Already have seen two sigma move in the market, and we might see even more going into tomorrow's session. So with that being said, let's jump right into Apple stock and see what that did today. Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple stock, it's up 3.65%, so on a ballistic move to the upside, and we break through this previous all-time high. Now that was a resistance here to break today, and we talked about it even in my video last night, 237, and it went through like butter. Nothing was even there. And why? Well, we had a decent correction here on Apple, and it was getting really oversold. And unfortunately, I picked up calls here and sold for profit. Did not hold because of earnings coming up this week, and I don't like to hold things, especially big names with earnings coming up, and short-term calls or even puts. They just decay too fast, and that's why I got out. But if I was holding, this was like a 1,000% play right here. Now it's over 237, so this gap is in play. With J Paul coming out, Apple earnings Thursday, it can go there definitely. You can see got a bit of a rejection here at 240 by this 50-day moving average. If we can get over that, you're going to see 245 to 250 to close this gap on top. Now to the downside, 237, your key line in the sand. Only if that gives up, you're going to see a drop down to 230, 227.68, and then maybe down to even 220, which I don't think that's going to happen unless there is really bad earnings that is coming out on Thursday. On AMD, another down day. So this one is getting decimated. I mean, you can see down to a new low today. I think, yeah, almost close to that low that we had yesterday, 112.80. So it's right there at 114, barely holding on to lower Bollinger Band. And I think only thing that can actually bring this stock back up in the short term, this earnings right here that is coming next week. So AMD, there is nothing here but a huge dip buying opportunity, especially people that are trying to go long here. Fantastic opportunity, but the next key support will be down here at 110. Resistance will be at 118, and then we can talk about possibly coming back up and closing this gap at 122. And not even gonna go, over 122 at this point. It's trading at 114. So watch out. AMD might be the dip, especially if you're looking to go long here on the stock. On Meta, it's up 2.19%. So Meta was up, I think, 3-4%. And I called it last night in my video that call me crazy if you want, but I think 700 Meta can go there. And boy, oh boy, this stock almost delivered today, up to 682.58, another fresh new all-time high. So Meta is getting really frothy, really overextended. Are we going to see some sort of a pullback with earnings coming up in just a matter of 2 days? Now, upside target still would be 700 if this thing wants to move. Now to the downside, we will have support here on Meta right here at 665, 648, and then 638 if this thing wants to cool off. Upside target, like I said, 700. And after earnings, we can see where things go here on Meta. It's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen, especially with earnings coming up in just a matter of 2 days. On Amazon stock, it's up 1.16%. So this is another one that I called yesterday. That look at this buying here. This is definitely bullish, and we can see 245, 246, and we did not get up to 246, but definitely another brand new all-time high, almost 242, and now pulling back and holding 238 right here. So you can see there will be support at 235 here on Amazon. Underneath that level, you'll see a drop down to previous all-time highs, 233, and then 230 all the way down to 226 20-day moving average. To the upside, we're trading into blue skies. So if this thing wants to run, we might see a move up to 246 and then even 250 with earnings coming up not this week, but the next week. On Google, stock is up 1.70%, and I even said it yesterday that as long as 193 can hold, we might see a move back up to 200, and looks like we might go there early as tomorrow to close this gap right here near 200. And look at this bounce. Even today, if you caught this dip, we got a hammer type candle. Look at this, guys. 192.61. It was holding pretty much these lows down here, and look at the move. That is a decent size move, especially if you're day trading. But a lot of people nowadays, when they see opportunities like this right here, it can possibly cost maybe $1 to $2 some calls, and not gonna buy this. They're gonna go buy Netflix because gambling, that's a big stock. You need a big account to trade that stock, and especially you gotta be profitable trader, otherwise that thing can just kill you. You buy one contract and it goes south, instead of going your way, what are you gonna do? You only have like 2 grand, 3 grand, maybe even 5, 10 grand. That's nothing. Netflix can take all that money in just a matter of couple minutes. So this was a better trade idea. Gap fill reversal 193. We even talked about it in my video that as long as 193 can hold, this could be a buying opportunity. And look at today right here at 197, got over 197, and now trading over these moving averages. So now 196 support. Below that, watch out for 193, 190, 188.68. To the upside, definitely, if this thing wants to run, it can run up to 200 to close this gap on top. So talking about Netflix, it's actually flat on the day, and I wanna look at this here. And we talked about it before that if this thing cools off, consolidate, then maybe that could be a buying opportunity. And what we got here, you can see it just wedging right here. And if this thing were to get that big breakout, guys, I mean, this could be a huge, huge breakout if this thing breaks out over this trend line here, which is I would say 980. You can see today high was almost 978. So 980, I would say, and then holds over 980, confirmation to 1000. That is your upside target. $20 to the upside over 980. Fantastic, fantastic setup. Now, we all know, and I just talked about it, that this is not something, with a small account, unless you're managing risk and you're really good at it. Because if this thing breaks out and then you see a jump like goes up to like 990, and you're holding no stop loss, nothing, and this thing comes back and breaks it, bottom of this channel, you're going to see, this thing dumping down to 936. So you can play it. Definitely, it's wedging right here, but also make sure you have your stop losses in place right here. I would say after buying bottom of this candle today right here. So that's a large move here from bottom of this candle to top of this candle. But that's how you got to trade Netflix, because if you put 10% stop loss, you're going to get stopped out immediately. So upside now 980 breaks, watch out for a move up to 1000. Now, to the downside, if this thing breaks below this low today, 957-ish, I would say, then watch out for this drop down here, previous all-time highs, 936. That could be even a better opportunity, especially people that are, just waiting to swing trade. As long as this previous all-time high can hold as a support. If not, this gap comes into play right here, 916.40 on Netflix. On Microsoft, it's up almost 3%. So, talking about a massive run. And we talked about it in my video yesterday how this channel is the perfect buying opportunity. You guys saw that at the beginning of my video where I said, I'm selling all the puts and buying dips on Microsoft, SMH, and Triple Q. And you can see, boy, oh boy, look at the move here, guys. Look at the size of this candle. Massive bullish engulfing candle. And we also have earnings coming up. And I was not expecting this big of a move today, closing the gap completely. We still have Qs and SPY not closing the gap completely, but look at here. Look at the move here. 447 trading over 443, and the next stop is 451, and then possibly will come up and retest previous all-time highs with earnings. Now to the downside, key level of support going into tomorrow, 443. Only if that gives up, watch down here, 435, 431, 428, and then 423 to 420. On Tesla stock, it's up 0.24%. So Tesla actually made quite the move today. And you can see it came down to 386, went back up to 400. So that is a big move. That is what, $14 to the upside if you caught it at the right time. But why we got the bounce? Because of this red line, 50-day moving average sitting close to 394. Bounced off of that level, came under, looked below and fell, and then went back up, but not over 400. So tomorrow, earnings coming up here on Tesla, guys. So I don't want to say anything here on Tesla, especially with earnings coming up. Things can go really crazy here on Tesla. We have a gap on top. We also have gaps down below. So it's kind of tricky to call this one here, especially with earnings. So tomorrow, I would say if this thing breaks over 400, expect more upside, 407, 411, 429. To the downside, 394 gives up, then watch out for 380, 375, 362, and then 358. On Nvidia stock, it's up 9%. So did I call this yesterday where I said I'm loading up the boat and I'll be buying even more? And a couple of things I want to talk about here on Nvidia, especially look at the technicals. Yes, we had a massive gap down. It was an overreaction from deep seek or deep shit that we had yesterday from Chinese market or China. And I said that I'm not buying it because this is where CTA was actually net short in the market. Market already was going to brand new all-time high, especially S&P 500, and today Dow Jones almost getting close to all-time highs, and CTA was a net short at that time. So how come they're not participating in that rally? And yesterday, boy oh boy, they picked up their dip, and today, the main thing, the technicals I want to talk about, look at this hammer candle here on Nvidia stock. And this is where you got to pick up dips. If you're not picking up dips and then you're buying Netflix, well, nothing will save your account, because this is perfect buying opportunity now. All the shares, calls, anything that I bought, even got into Broadcom today. Everything that I bought yesterday is green. Now you can say, oh, tomorrow if there is a gap down or J Paul crushes the market, you're gonna be red. All I have to do is put a stop right at opening, or the shares that I bought, I can already put a stop. But these names here, I'm not really worried about, a drop, because the lower it goes, my possibilities and my reward would be massive, because buying more, I don't mind. Yes, my position will be underwater for maybe, a couple days, maybe even a month or two. but upside is gonna be huge. Same thing I said before about Apple, Tesla. They were down, and people said it's trash, it's garbage, and it's not going up. Apple is the worst stock in the market, and now gone, right? Again, it came back, gave us a dip, and gone. If that wasn't for earnings, I would definitely buy Apple too. But Nvidia here, I mean, you cannot ignore the fact volume showed up. We got a 9% rally to the upside. And if you call this dip today, this was the second day, this hammer candle. I mean, look at this gap here. We still have a massive gap on top, and we did close over 126 over this previous day's candle. That is technically a bullish pattern where we got this hammer type candle. But yes, tomorrow we have JPAL, FOMC, earnings, lots of things, and then Friday or Thursday, more earnings from Apple. So lots of things are happening. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna go and fill this gap tomorrow, but at least it's going in the right direction where things are looking good, especially for the dip buyers. When it was up here, I said the same thing, that I'm not looking to buy Nvidia. I'm not chasing this. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even shorting this. There is a big drop down, 15, 20%. Of course, this is a good opportunity. And if it comes down, it wants to come down a bit more, that is even better. So all the shares, all the calls, anything that I bought, especially on the dip yesterday, added some stuff today, all are green. And when you go green, you have the leverage where you can put a stop loss, for maybe some profit or at break even. It's a free trade on the house, but a lot of people, they see profit, no stop loss, nothing, and then, oh, I'm down 60% now. Where was your stop? So Nvidia looking good, looking promising, but with tomorrow, I cannot guarantee anything because of J Powell and all these earnings. Volatility is going to be there, guys. Nvidia now keyline the sand 126. Only if that breaks, we will come back here to retest 118 and then maybe even 107. That's going to be a new low. To the upside, next resistance here 130. Over that, we might see a pop all the way up to 136, and this gap right here around 142. So Nvidia at least giving us a nice, hammer type candle. Lots of buying today. And I'm not saying that, this is it. It was getting down to daily 200 SMA. So this bounce was coming. Is it going to go up even more or not? That will actually play out depending on how FOMC goes tomorrow with Jay Powell. And then, the press conference. And right after that, those earnings are going to be key. And especially in the morning, guys, don't forget ASML coming out with earnings. That's going to be a factor, especially for semis. And that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated going into tomorrow.